Well, hello and welcome to Awaken Your Human Design. My name is Moni. This is my co-host, Danny. We will be continuing our holidays in human design exploration.
Yeah, I love that we're exploring this, Moni, because it's just a unique flavor. And these are, they're not strictly uniquely American holidays, but many of them are sort of, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, definitely the basis is very like American holidays as well as Christian holidays. That's my background. I would love to hear from our audience. Like, if you have another cultural or religious background and you notice that those line up with human design, I would love to hear about it. Like, please drop that down in the comments because
Yeah.
I would imagine there's a connection. I can only speak through like my lens and my experience, but I
Yep.
would love to hear from anyone else who's noticed this with, other holidays I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I just love that we're doing this and actually you'll see many of these things, they just make such good sense and they really flavor out a story. So apparently there's no accidents here. We're all in a program, folks. Get used to it.
Absolutely. So thank
Mhm.
you to all our viewers. Thank you to everyone who's liking and subscribing. It really helps us. So here we have Arbor Day as our next holiday, and that lands on April 25th and lines up with gates 27 and 28 within human design. And it also lines up with the incarnation crosses of caring and alignment. And they read, people fixed on caring about everyone and everything, remembrance, sudden revelation, and principles shaped by the need for meaning. And in moments of transition, giving proper direction to see what alignment is best for them. And so this one's kind of interesting, especially with like caring, because gate 27 is about caring and taking care of the tribe. And it's like, you need trees, you need to breathe air. And even with gate 28, it might be a little bit of a push, but gate 28 is the gate of the great game player. And like, you need an earth to play your game on.
It's not a
So
push.
maybe you got
Not a
to take
push
care
at
of it.
all. No, because that purpose, the meaning of life comes through the purpose that we found as we struggled to find what we're going to care for. And the caring, you can't care for anything greater than Mother Earth herself as she cares for us. I guess you could take that down to, well, I could care for my child or my wife or my husband, but still you can't care for much more than Mother Earth herself, just generally as she cares for you. And so this fits literally in the stewardship of what Arbor Day represents and the variety that it would bring out. And all of it, especially since it falls on April 25th. So we just came off of the ones that we had from before. This sort of makes sense moving into this, just even from where we came. What was the gate right before this? Just duration. Was that right before it?
No, it's going to be 3 and 50.
Dude, all we did was make a definition. We guaranteed Arbor Day meant something because if the 50 comes up, that makes the whole channel of preservation, preserve Mother Earth. Now we know where we get the slogans, and it lands here on Arbor Day, and it gives us a great deal of purpose. And so we shouldn't even treat this day like a nonsense day. This day should get treated with a lot of reverence. It's here to persevere as it relates to being preserved. So,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the law, that's the law because that
Yeah.
moves into the law. So.
With Gate 50. Yeah, and some like history of Arbor Day. So it dates back to the early 1870s in Nebraska City. There's a journalist named of Julius Sterling Morton who moved to Nebraska with his wife in 1854. The couple purchased 160 acres in Nebraska City and planted a wide variety of trees and shrubs in what was primarily a flat stretch of desolate plain. And so he became the editor of this newspaper, Nebraska City News, which was perfect platform for Morton to spread his knowledge of trees and to stress their ecological importance to Nebraska. His message of tree life resonated with his readers, many of whom recognized the lack of forestation in their community. Morton also became involved with the Nebraska Board of Agriculture. And on January 7th, 1872, Morton proposed a day that would encourage all Nebraskans to plant trees in their community. The Agricultural Board agreed, and after some back and forth about the title, Morton convinced everyone that the day should reflect the appreciation of all trees. Arbor Day was born.
What a great freaking story.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's I love how these things end up coming about. And this is not an ancient holiday. This is American. This is
Yeah.
American as apple pie, if now I think of it,
Yeah.
because
Yeah. I mean, 19th century.
Nebraska.
Yeah.
Nebraska. I mean, that's how do you get more. But
And
anyway,
it's even interesting because it would be trees and shrubs that would help have prevented the Dust Bowl, but it was actually World War I. A lot of those plain states like over harvested trees during like World War I and like the 1920s and building out a lot of stuff. And so then once it was Dust Bowl
Arbor
time,
Day,
there's nothing there.
everyone's planting trees on Arbor Day. I planted trees on Arbor Day when I was
yeah.
little. Our school would do it. It was just such a beautiful civic activity, you know what I mean? And it was all for the greater good. And that's what we were taught too at the time. So it's very communal. It's just it's a warm time as far as I'm concerned. And what a warm place to be. Granted, 28 isn't necessarily the warm gate, but 27 sure is. You know, there's a warmth there that is, even though it starts out with selflessness or selfishness, it's still selfishness, actually. That's the first line of 27. But it's as it relates to acquiring the energy to care for everything. So we like it. It's very Mother Teresa-ish. Arbor Day, steward and protect our planet is what this says.
I love it. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Danny, and thanks to everyone watching, and enjoy the holiday. Maybe plant a tree, and we'll catch you next time.
Name it too. If you plant it, name it.
Perfect.